hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you all so much for being here. If you didn't get a notification, that was not by design. It was just by chance. But I was going to do something, longer like I usually do. But got a feeling we're going to stay on one of these topics for most of the time. So I didn't think it was necessary to do something, with a variety of things, but we'll see how it goes. Excuse me. Let me say hello to a few people. Compton Cali Gal is here. Lydia Washington, Julia Rock, Katie V, Sonia Johnson, Marshar, Robin Hyde, Leslie F, Elaine Parker, Brenda Gray, Trinette Mitchell, hello. Gerda Sifrin, Lady Trillion, Yellow Rose T. Okay. Carlene Beckford, Katie V, if I hadn't said it. Kanitha Ash, 10. Let's see. Miranda Rios, Caroline Teal, Sonia Johnson, Educate You Too, Elaine Parker, Denise Marcus, Sugar Plum K, okay, Olive Perry, Vanna. Oh, there it is. This is what I was waiting for. I wanted to get this freaky looking puppet show up here so we can discuss this. But I'm not going to start off with that. But that is where we need to talk this out because, I'm listening to people say, well, let's focus on the games. Let's focus on that. Yeah, I'm all prepared to do that. But today, this was just too much. This was going just way too far. So I'm going to focus on that too. But in the meantime, Carly Fortune says the rumors are true. What rumors is that, you say? Author Carly Fortune has confirmed that her best-selling romance novel, Meet Me at the Lake, will be adapted for Netflix by Harry and Meghan production company. Harry and Meghan's production company, which I believe is Archwell Productions. News that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex Archwell production has acquired rights to Fortune's book broke over the weekend, which is interesting because I didn't hear anything about it until today. Weeks after their exclusive multi-million pound... okay, now, the only source I could find for this story was not necessarily a Sussex-friendly platform. This one, I'm sorry to say, is The Independent. And The Independent is kind of like a strained friendship, right? Sometiming, as we say, sometiming. They can be very sometiming, mostly one type of way, but they can be sometiming. Sometimes they just give you the news without a filter of nastiness. But in this case, I guess they couldn't resist. They had to throw Spotify in there. Anyway, in the statement, The Independent, Fortune said, I'm so thrilled about working with Netflix and Archwell to bring Meet Me at the Lake to the screen. Will and Fern's love story is dear to my heart, and I can't imagine a more perfect partnership. A former journalist, Fortune's second book, Meet Me at the Lake, was released in the United States on the 2nd of May and debuted at number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list. It is published by Penguin Random House, who also published Prince Harry's memoir, Spare. The book follows Will and Fern, two strangers, on a day-long adventure where they make a promise to keep one keeps and the other breaks with life-changing effects. Huh, that's interesting. The plot bears some likeness to Harry and Meghan's whirlwind romance, as one of the protagonists in Fortune's story lost a parent in a car crash and struggled with alcohol and drugs. Harry's mother, the late Prince, yeah, we know. Fortune has previously described the book as a love letter to Toronto, where Meghan lived. Okay, I can see the other connection. Before she started dating Harry. Huh. Serendipity? I don't think so. Arthur Elena Armas praised Fortune's, I keep leaving those S's off, praised Fortune's, the novel, breaking the tale of a star-crossed lovers in a testimonial for the Canadian author's book. Oh, she's Canadian. News of this reported acquisition comes days after. Okay, yeah, we know she had a birthday. Good. And let me see. They didn't mention bathrooms, right? They did mention Spotify. Check. They didn't they didn't mention Travelist. Okay, must have missed that one. They didn't mention Spare. Again, how could they possibly overlook a chance to talk about Spare? Well, 2 out of 4, I guess, is not bad. Their batting average is about 50%. All right. Okay. So, to continue with that, if you take a look on the left side, you can see the New York Times bestsellers list. Meet Me at the Lake House by Carly Fortune is in the #1 position. And then here on the right side, I don't have the date for that tweet. Oh, it was 12 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 12 weeks ago. Fortune, I don't have words, only tears. Meet Me at the Lake House made its debut on the New York Times bestseller list, #1, and is the 3rd on the combined print and ebook list here in Canada. It debuted at #1 in both the Toronto Star original fiction and Canadian fiction list. My brain is broken, my heart is full. I know my book have caused a few tears among readers, but but now you are the ones making me sob. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to my friends at, Berkeley Pub and Penguin Random House, please be warned that when I next see you, it's going to get emotional. Well, if your book is in the #1 position, as Harry, it can be quite emotional. It can be very, very emotional. So congratulations to her. And of course, congratulations to the Sussexes for the acquisition. I don't know how this didn't spread like wildfire the weekend, but oh well. Arnie Roberts says, but has become absolutely disgusting. Hunt down 2 people that they don't know. Yeah, all in due time. Let me wrap this up before I go into that. So there is the author. You can see her clearly there, and you can see there's some people that are meeting at the lake with the book. Must be interesting. I may try to see if I can get the ebook. And here you can see the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have acquired rights to produce a Netflix film based on best-selling novel Meet Me at the Lake. And there you can see her. I am so thrilled about working with Netflix and Archwell to bring Meet Me at the Lake to the screen. Will and Fern's story. Will and Fern's. Now, see, maybe that's another parallel, Will and Fern, because Harry's brother is named William, right? So you got Harry's brother, William, Will and Kate, right? And then Fern. Fern is like a little scrawny weed that shoots up in the cracks of the sidewalk pavement and reaches toward the light, or like a wisteria, where it just climbs up the lattice work until it like like a wisteria. It just crawls up the lattice work and clings on to the bricks until it reaches the top. I can see a parallel, Will and Fern. A fern is a plant, which is pretty hardy, can grow just about any place as long as it doesn't get direct sunlight, usually on the northern side of the house here in the northern hemisphere. So, Will and Fern. I wonder if there's some veiled reference to the Duke and Duchess of Prince and Princess of Wales. I wonder. It really makes me wonder. You see, I'm never in such a bad mood that I can't be shady. Well, you guys, I have just exposed Will and Fern. Yes, Will and Fern. Ladies and gentlemen, Will and Fern. I wonder if wisteria is in the fern family. You know what I mean? You know how certain animals are in the same class or family or whatever? I wonder if if fern and wisteria is one and the same. Because, they used to call them the Wisteria sisters. So anyway, anywho, so does anybody have anything they want to share about the book, or are we okay with that? Oh, good morning. Good Monday evening to you. Also, Joyce Anderson, thank you for being here. Let me see. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. Let's see who else is here. B. Martin, thank you for being here. Cass Sterling. So this is good news about the book, right? Of course, I'm going to throw my support behind it and talk about it night and day and encourage everyone to see it. Okay. All right, so we can get back to that. I'll just go on to the next topic, shall we? Okay. All right, so the next topic is this. So Kinsey Schofield, as you can see, much like that social climber that's married into the royal family, the one I just referenced, such as Kinsey Schofield. Now, I read that she was a reality television personality, right? And nothing wrong with that somehow she has parlayed her career to go into entertainment television. However, she didn't stop at being an entertainment reporter. She didn't stop until, just like the fern, she crawled up to the top of the heap when it comes, well, not the very top, but she's kind of like a go-to person in those right-wing cult-like royalist circles that she travels in, as evident by the fact that she's in a photo with Mrs. Magoo. She's in a photo with Nigel Farage. She's been making the rounds. And of course, somehow she was given a ticket to go and work over there for the Queen's funeral. And she ought to be quite the authority. I mean, after all, she's from the United States. So surely she knows all there is to know about Queen Elizabeth II. And right here, imagine this person, as the thing says, Andy Signor, is one of Meghan Markle and Harry's biggest haters, and he's trying to organize trip to stalk and harass. Seriously, what's wrong with these abusers trying to bring down Meghan and Harry. First, we had Dan Wootton. Now we have this guy. Now, that's the quote from one of the Sussex Squad, perhaps. I don't know that that person's a Sussex Squad, but anyway, I crimped their name out of it. But you can see right here, this guy has a pretty dodgy past, very dodgy. And I believe Anne alluded to it earlier, that he has a bit of a dodgy past. Now, Andy was it Signor, the creator of popular YouTube series Honest Trailers, is being accused of that. Two accusers, one who says she was a former intern, posted publicly on social media Friday that that person there used his authority for sordid purposes. Well, that's just one of the things. And of course, there's Schofield and Dan Woot. Like I said, she was making the rounds. And okay, I'm gonna guess. Let me take a look at something here. So that's the Queen's funeral. Everybody's wearing black. What is that cape she has on? She's wearing a cape and some booties for the Queen's. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, and she's wearing a tiara. She's wearing a cape, some booties, and a tiara. You know, this has nothing to do with anything. But I'm just, that's okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all do know this was the Queen's funeral, right? I'm just asking for a friend. All right. So long as you all see it too. Thank you, Gwendolyn Daniels. Thank you. You said it. You said it. Absolutely. Oh, Lord. Anyway, so he was canceled during the Me Too movement. Now he's using YouTube to attack celebrity accusers. Pushback against the Me Too movement and the shifting economics on YouTube have elevated Andy Signor to other online creators to new heights. For Andy Signor, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial was a gold mine. Starting in April and spanning just a few months, Signor, 43, more than doubled the following of his YouTube channel, where he comments on news and pop culture. He has made more than 300 videos about the trial. 300. And his participants bringing in millions of views and thousands of dollars in contributions from fans, which, by the way, I'm not encouraging anybody to go to his channel, but it is something there. It is something there. Well, I'm not surprised. He gets an ample amount, a shamelessly huge amount in participation. Like, for instance, his ability to raise funds is what he mentioned when it came to this bus trip to Montecito. He said, we'll see if we can pool the money so that we can get on the bus and go. In so many words, we'll pool the money. And I promise you, based on what I've seen, I don't think that that would be a problem for him if he chose to actually go through with this, which I'm imagining is still a possibility, even though he's pretending like it was just a joke. I would say it's still a possibility because right now his viewers, his ratings have gone up. He's getting a lot of views because of this controversy. It's a particularly impressive run considering not long ago the YouTube focused company Signor founded Screen Junkies said it had fired him, citing a variety of that stuff you see there, misconduct allegations. Signor has denied the allegations, but the reputational hit also set the stage for his comeback. You see what I mean? This is why I'm saying right now is supposed to be a no-go with going to Montecito. But it looks like the thought of it or the threat of it may actually pay off big time. Signor has capitalized on the allegations against him, emerging on one of many creators on YouTube making news-focused content filtered through the culture war lens. It has become a lucrative endeavor thanks to a shift in how creators make money on YouTube, where donations now flow from an audience skeptical to the Me Too movement, which it is really just like with Dan Wootton, openly, I guess, soliciting money for his potential future possible legal fees. And even though he didn't hit the target, I think the last I heard it was like some $40,000 or $50,000, which is almost a third of what he was hoping to raise. I think it stopped around 40,000. But the point is, for everyone who's like, no, I don't have a dog in this fight, there's always going to be someone who's going to say, I got you. So it appears that that is, a possibility. So even though they say nay, it is still possible that if not him, then someone that listens to his show may actually want to go to Montecito. Happy birthday, VS! Someone told me it was your birthday today, and I see Lydia has just put it up there. Thank you so much, Lydia. Now, VS, it was my firm intention to make you a card for my slides, and I did not because I've been a bit preoccupied with this right here. So I do apologize, but there's no reason why we won't have a little dance. We probably need a breakbeat right now. So let me do that. Let me cue our birthday dance. Hello, Ivy here. There we go. Let us cue our birthday dance. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy. Today is Lilibet Diana Mountbatten-Windsor's birthday. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Church Nellie's gonna be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, All right, happy birthday, VS. And many happy returns of the day. And thank you so much for, Yellow Rose Tea says, Baron, we're going to Montgomery, Alabama. Are we going to march on Montgomery and pull up on those derangers if they think they are going to Montecito? Our folks got, yes, Thank you so much, Yellow Rose Tea. And you know what? I am going to take, as a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can raise some funds to get us some folding chairs. Yes, I am going to. And do you guys know, did you all hear that the person that invented the folding chair was African American? It was an African American that came up with that ingenious design for the folding chair. Huh. Talk about life imitating art. Yes, that was a African American that created the patented folding chair. But then again, you know, I come from that generation where we did everything. So, um, again, happy birthday to you. Many happy returns of the day. And anyway, thank you so much for everything that you do for the community because trust me when I say it, we don't have enough people that do what you do. And as I've said so many times, you kind of bring in the day for most people. You're usually on first. And that's a good thing. It's a way to help rally the community early in the day, especially for people doing their commute and such. So, again, thank you. Thank you. You're loved, you're appreciated. I love you. And you are a credit to the Sussex Squad. And we're glad that you're on our side. And you're making it rain, 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 rain on me. And you're making it rain, 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 rain on me. Now, I am stalling just a little bit if you haven't figured that out by now. Although I meant everything that I said, I really did. But only you will know how this was possible. Only you, and that's just between us, only you will know how this was possible. See, I told you I had something for you. I told you. I told you. So here's your flowers and thank you. There you go. Oh man. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for pulling us out of that moment. Let me see here. Oh, Leslie F. Yes, I saw that. He's from Florida. He got what is that? He got what is I don't know what that is. People posted on his really? Oh, you know, I saw a message that he had saying that I come from a state where, you know, that they take care of stuff like that when people show up unannounced. I saw that. I saw that. And I didn't realize that that was the. Ooh, he didn't got some people. Oh, well, he didn't got some people. He didn't got on the wrong side of the right people or on the wrong side of the wrong people. Ain't that something? You know, I tell you what, I think it's only fair that if you could possibly cause someone to lose sleep, that you should be losing sleep as well. Isn't that something? Thank you. Thank you. Now I understand why I saw that cryptic message that he left. Okay, Lorna Murphy says, I have to wonder, what do they have to gain in all this? Are these haters related to the unroyal family asking for a friend? You know, I would like to believe that it was just a bad joke, But let's say, for the sake of argument, that it was just a bad joke. The thing is, there are a lot of mentally fragile people in this world. And as we've seen that very tearful appeal from Meghan to the haters, telling them that you are making things very bad for me, that I can't sleep some nights. And so, and I'm saying this too for everyone who say, well, we should just focus on the no, no, we should call this out. We should call this out because at no point have I ever heard anyone in the Sussex squad say anything to reference someone's children in a threatening manner. And this is quite threatening because you speak it, right? As I said, he has the ability to raise funds. And that's all I'll say about that. He has a bully pulpit. He has the ability to raise the funds. He pretty much gave us a blueprint for how they could go and have this, what did he call it? We want our privacy tour. But the thing is, let's suppose it is a joke and you don't show up. But what about the people who will? Like, for instance, I don't believe for 1 second that most of the people at the United States Congress, the Capitol building, I don't believe that all of those people went there with violence in their hearts. I don't believe that. But there was enough of them who did, and we saw them fighting with the police, scaling the walls, bear spray, zip ties, face masks, all of that stuff that you would need to wreak havoc. And also, let us not forget that there was someone trying to put a little structure outside for the vice president. Now, I'm sure most of those people did not go there with that in mind, but some of them did. And we could use that same argument for this situation to say that even if we were to believe that he doesn't have that in his heart, but some of the people that's listening may very well have that in their hearts. And when it comes down to it, he's responsible for what comes out of his mouth. And if he's the one who, let's say, yells in a crowded theater, if he's the one yelling in a crowded theater, and there is a stampede for the door, and somebody gets hurt, or someone just drops dead of a heart attack, or someone is injured, whatever. If something like that happens, where did it start? Where did it start? Now, you could argue someone just dropping dead out of fear and having a heart attack, but the other things, broken bones, suffocation from being crushed by a mob of people, I would say it starts with the person who yelled. And to me, this is not exactly that scenario, but it could be. There's that possibility. The words matter. The words matter. Now, years ago, Bill Clinton was in Chicago, and someone yelled something very disrespectful to him, and the Secret Service arrested him. They detained him. They questioned him. Now, of course, the people on the right were saying that this is free speech and so on and so forth. I agree. It is free speech. But to a nervous Secret Service agent in a crowd of people, and this was a surprise visit that Bill Clinton made, I think, to the Taste of Chicago. It was not planned. If it was Donald Trump, I would still say, and you know how I feel about Trump, I would still say, lock him up. detain him, detain him. Because we all know that in crowded situations like that, when there is a situation like that, it could mean that something devious is going on. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. I wouldn't be the one to do it, no matter how I felt about the person that was president, whether it was Trump or Bush or Clinton or Obama. I still say that in those tight quarters like that, in the president's face, yeah, detain that person, have a conversation with him, not arrest them, but do that, because words matter. And if you are big and bad enough to say certain things, then you have to deal with the consequences of it. This is not just, oh, they live in a gated community, because this is what I heard earlier. Well, and I'm not talking about on Ann's show, but I heard it someplace else. They live in a gated community. Nobody's going to get, that's not the point. That's not the point. If I heard that a crowd of people were coming to my house to picket, I will keep looking out the curtains. I don't care if I had a whole army regiment in my living room. I'm still going to be peeking out the curtain. And worse comes to worse, and God forbid it ever should, like someone shows up, I don't even want to have to imagine that my child may peek out the curtain and see some people standing in front of the house. I wouldn't want that. Who is that person out there with the sign? Who are those people? I would not want that. Because as it is, there are some of those people that are crazy enough to say whatever they want in front of Harry and Meghan with their children. You know, someone will do that. They will go there, and let's hope all they have are words. But no, that is a home that is lived in by children. And if it was someone standing outside of a schoolhouse yelling like a lunatic, I would want to see them locked up too. At the very least, question. If I found out that someone was frightening someone's children, if someone was threatening to go to a child's house, I don't care who that person is. And again, I don't care if it's Donald Trump. If you are going to threaten to go to the place where children live and frighten them, that's enough for me. I have a very, very low threshold where that's concerned. I don't care how much security they have. I don't care about that. You don't even joke about it. You don't even joke about it. You cannot make certain jokes going through the airport. You can't go through the airport and say certain things. They will put you in a room. And the same goes for the Sussex children. It's not a joke. It's nothing funny about it. Now, he doesn't impress me as having much of an IQ. He really doesn't. But in spite of that, this discussion needs to happen, because if you say nothing, then the next person will do it. This could very easily turn into a conversation that is repeated over and over again. And this is nothing less than what happened with Jobo. When Jobo said something about dangling a child over a balcony, I didn't see anybody say, oh, well, you know, they live behind a gated fence. I don't care. I don't care if it's a 30-foot wall. I don't care if they live on the Rock of Gibraltar. I don't think it's funny. I don't think that anything involving anyone's children is or should ever be a source of humor. It's just not right. Those kids live there. This is not, oh, when they come to New York. This is not, oh, when we, and if they come to New York and you know their children are with them, back off. You don't do that. You don't have a right to do that. That's not funny. Kathy A., thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And furthermore, is it also designed to make sure that they're at odds with their neighbors? Is that what it's about? So that their neighbors can feel uncomfortable? So that their neighbors could be at odds with them? Now, there's an excellent chance that they would have never gotten further than the outer perimeter of these properties. There's a very good chance of that. But just the conversation is more than I'm willing to take. Because that is where Archie and Lilibet Diana, that is their home. That is their home. You cannot do certain things around someone's school. You should not be able to even make the talking points, make an assumption, a joke, a threat, whatever you want to call it. This was supposed to be some comedic roast. That's the excuse. But that is Archie and Lily's home. Full stop. That is their home. If you got something with the parents, fine. But leave those kids alone. That is where they sleep at night. So you send out a signal to everyone, well, we're going to go on the bus. Oh, well, that's just the next town over. Maybe I'll drive over there and meet them. Not funny. Thank you, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker. And thank you for staying up with us. Greatly appreciate it. And happy Monday to you. Well, Tuesday for you. Happy Tuesday for you. Okay, let me look at a couple of your comments here. Let me see. That Steph and Alter Nerd, she has been pissed over since Harry put out his book and was doing his interviews. She called Meghan a cow bag. Really? Okay. Again, it's one thing with the parents. It's a whole different thing when it has to do with a residence where the children live. I wouldn't know. Well, you know what? You know who knows? He knows now. He knows. Now that he has had a taste of his own medicine, where people know where he lives, and, you know, who knows what people are saying in his inbox or whatever. Well, now he knows. He knows so much that he's had to send out a veiled threat to anyone who shows up unannounced. Carlene Beckford says, Barron, that's ain't no joke. He is gaslighting. This should be taken seriously. Yeah. As a matter of fact, let me see. Let me continue here. There it is. Christopher Bosey. I told Newsweek this recent incident targeting Harry and Meghan underscores the worrisome trend of bad actors weaponizing YouTube to target individuals, and the disturbing reality that YouTube is turning a blind eye to targeted harassment. Now, let me see. Do I have that? Let me see here. Okay. Well, I believe that he also said that perhaps there should be a restraining order. I believe he mentioned that the Sussexes ought to require a restraining order. That is from Chris Rebosi, a restraining order. And see, when these situations happen like this, like, for instance, when people are saying Harry, well, not squatties, of course, but when the people in the tabloid media say that Harry looks a certain way, how come Harry never smiles? Harry was frowning. Harry takes these threats seriously. Harry and Meghan, probably mostly Harry, is aware of the threats that have been made. And so if there's nothing else he's going to get right, he's going to protect his family, and that's for sure. He's going to protect his family. So, yeah, I'm sure he would love to be the life of the party everywhere. But when there's a threatening situation, when there's a crowd of people and you have people saying that your wife's not really pregnant, somebody needs to sort that out. What do you think sort that out means? And I'm not even saying the word that has been used before, to sort it out. But when your wife is in a delicate, fragile condition, also known as pregnancy, for someone her age, a delicate, that is considered a geriatric pregnancy, right? When you're over 35, I think that's considered geriatric. So, that comes with a lot of risk. Not even the idea that, being pregnant alone nowadays for a woman of color, or being pregnant in a country where there's a hostile element, anything could happen. And so when somebody says, let's sort it out, what do you think they mean? When people say your children are not real, when people say your pregnancy is not real, and then you have someone who seems to imply directly that we're going to have a fundraiser and we're going to show up. We're going to stand outside of their house. And even if you say we're not here to threaten anyone, I just said it. Not everyone that went to the Capitol, I will admit. I'm not going to pretend like everybody was part of this plot. Some people just showed up. If I was in the crowd and I was supporting that monster, I would have walked over there too. I'd have followed him right over there. But only a handful of them, in comparison to the peaceful, law-abiding citizens, it only took a couple of hundred of them to nearly decapitate the United States government. They delayed the certification of the election for 12 hours? Something that has never happened in the history of this republic. They delayed an election because someone tried to overthrow the government. And one of the someones allegedly was the president of the United States. That's what words can do. So that's why Harry looks very serious, and Harry should. And as people that are new to the squad have learned, we're very passionate about our faves. The day that Lily was born, that whole week, when all the people speculated that the baby was due, and we've heard nothing. Everybody was just as nervous and jumpy and fidgety. And then when we finally heard that Meghan safely delivered the child 4 days ago, it was sighs and cries of relief, because none of us was going to relax until we knew better. And once we found out, we could relax. But until then, I was thinking it, you were thinking it, everybody in the squad was thinking it. What if the paparazzis try to follow them to the hospital? What if that happens? Which is why they had to have an ultra super secret maneuver to have the baby. That's why they did that, was so that they would be left alone. And it worked. We didn't hear about it until 4 days after the fact. And I'm okay with that. So I'm looking for the quote right now, but I do believe that Christopher Bosey had mentioned the possibility of them needing to get a restraining order. Yeah, I don't see it right now, but I did see that before I went on. But be that as it may, it's definitely should be something on the table. I wouldn't take it off the table until the coast is clear. You know, when the kids are out of college. Leslie says, Barron, he joked about doing a TMZ like bus tour past Harry and Meghan's house and told South Park like and hold South Park like signs and in front of video. He stated it's a joke, but he failed to see how others could take it too far. And that's the point. That's the point. And I, like I said, I would like to believe that he knows better. I would like to believe that it's a joke, but I don't. I don't believe that everybody thinks it's a joke. Some of the things that, like for instance, the conversation, this so-called roast that they were having, where they mentioned things like. As a matter of fact, I think the one English lady with the mole on her face, she was saying, no, it wasn't her. It was, I think it was the other one. She made reference to how about the baby, about Meghan not actually giving birth to her children. How could she have this one day and that next day, and next thing you know, they say she's at home with the baby? I just told you, and I know she knows that. I know that she knows better, but that is not what the hate mongers want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear common sense. They want to repeat the lie over and over again. They want to repeat that lie because that is where the ratings are. If I did what they were doing, how many subscribers do you think I would have? 100,000? 300,000? Because that's the easy path, is to make up lies, feed into conspiracies, veil threats and such. That's the easy way to do it. It's very easy. The body language guy, that guy, he hit a gold mine. He hit a gold mine. And since that time, he is in constant communication with every conspiracy mongering deranger out there. As a matter of fact, when I have a hunch about some of the people that I've had to block from the channel, when I go and see who they subscribe to, it's the usual suspects. You think of them, and those are the ones that they subscribe to. You can start with Lady C and work your way down or up, however you feel about it. They subscribe to the whole court of fools. All of them, all the court jesters, those are the ones they subscribe to. Every conspiracy theorist, every liar, every manipulator. And then in the comments, you see stuff like Harry killed his grandmother, Meghan killed Philip. They hastened their deaths. Not that they're, old and sick and been sick for years, but no, it wasn't 3 divorces. It wasn't Windsor Castle burning to the ground. It wasn't cash for honors. No, none of that stuff. It wasn't paying 12 million plus pounds to somebody you never met for something you didn't do. That didn't do anything to her. It was Harry and Meghan running for their lives that took her out of here. It wasn't the alleged bone cancer. No, I mean, considering everything we were seeing, some medical professionals tend to believe that there was a long-term illness. But it wasn't any of those things. But for the sake of hate, it had to be Harry and Meghan. It wasn't Charles pushing Camilla onto her after she spent years avoiding her. Next thing you know, she finds out Camilla's going right into the same burial vault with her. Not exactly what she wanted. She didn't like Camilla. She didn't want to tolerate Camilla. She thought Camilla was awful, but she was stuck with her. But none of those things hurt the queen. It was Harry and Meghan. And in every comment section, you hear the same thing over and over again. It's that they're worried about Thomas Markle Sr. They're worried about her sister. They're worried about everybody except for her children. They worry about everyone except for Lily and Archie. Nobody else gets any consideration where they're concerned in the whole Sussex household. Not Doria, not Lily, not Archie, and certainly not Harry and Meghan, no matter what. There are people, there are derangers who wish them harm every day. Every day. When they say go away, you know what they mean. You know exactly what they mean. These are the same people that could watch a person being lynched and just close the door and go finish watching Wheel of Fortune. Those are the same people. Just like the lady who was harassing Madeleine McCain's parents, only to find out, her son finds out after she deleted herself, that she was one of the biggest menaces on the social media. Every day, that was her job, was to figure out how she can accuse the parents of making their child disappear. That was her job. That was her job, nothing else. And she joined a community of people that did likewise. And he only found about it after she was gone. He had moved to another country, if you don't remember the whole story, but he had moved to another country so that he could make something out of his life. And in his absence, his mother turned into a monster, an absolute monster. Robin Hyde says, Baron, I agree with everything you're saying. People need to be held accountable for what they are out, for what they say out of their mouth. Certain things are not freedom of speech, but for destruction. Exactly. It's not freedom of speech. It's yelling in a crowded theater, and that's not legal. It's making off-colored jokes at the airport, and that's not legal either. It's amazing how what's okay for you to say in front of a nightclub could get you locked up or detained at an airport. It's the same principle. It is the same principle. It does not matter. It does not matter whether you say it's a joke or not. You said it about the place where those kids live. And no parent should have to be made insecure like that by someone on a social media platform. That's not right. It's an implied threat as far as I'm concerned. He says it was a joke. I say it's an implied threat. You have to really show me how that weird remark, how this blueprint for harassment, and that's what it is. It's a blueprint of harassment. Even if it's a joke, you just gave a blueprint to people who are, for lack of a better word, a bit soft in the head. You have just given a blueprint. You have come up with a plan, a blueprint. And it's supposed to be a big joke. Well, it was just a comedy roast. We'll get a bus. We'll raise some money. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll have our signs. It's just a joke. Okay. But during the pandemic, there was someone who went all the way across the country to go and knock on the Sussex door. I wonder where this person got the idea. We haven't heard from him. We haven't heard anything about him, not that I'm aware of. But I wonder what, and this guy seems to have been, a little strange. But what gave him the idea? What tells a person to take a crossbow and go to Windsor Castle? What tells a person to shoot a starter pistol while the queen is on horseback? Now, as far as I'm concerned, when you have anyone, even if it's one of her guards on horseback, and you do something like that, then you're putting lives at risk. And not just the person on the horse, but the people standing in the crowd. That was a thing that could have gotten a lot of people hurt. So it may not be exactly the same, but as far as I'm concerned, it's on principle, I think it's the same thing. So here is the very odd group right here. So that's him on the left with his comedy roast, as he called it. And of course, you have Kinsey Schofield, the love child of Tammy Faye Baker. And then, of course, the very angry woman above her, I don't even know who she is, but at least three of them are super angry. The one in the pink is just a plain grifter. So you have a grifter who's not really so angry, just nasty. And then you have the other three ladies that are nasty, grifters, and everything else. I mean, the stuff that they were saying. Now, this was supposed to be a comedy roast, but it wasn't with a smile. It was not with a grin when they made reference again about Meghan not actually giving birth to their children. That is just like one of the most hurtful things that you could say to a woman. I mean, the idea that women spend, couples, let's just say couples, families spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to have children, right? And we don't know whether the Sussexes did that or not, but I'm just saying there's always people that have gone through to every possible conceivable length, every expense to have children. And seeing that you don't know, how is it humorous to say that that's not their kids? Those kids should be, and that's not, I'm not saying that this was the conversation today, but they did make a reference to Meghan, questioning Meghan's birth of those children. But what I'm saying is, it is yet again someone else using that trope about Meghan's ability to have children, Harry's ability to become a father. We don't know what they went through. It's just like when someone showed that video of them leaving that doctor's office that day. I will go to my grave knowing that trip to that building, and this is just my opinion, had something to do with the loss of a child. Harry was as cagey as a tiger. Meghan was her usual pleasant self. We didn't know it at the time, but if I had to guess, because there were medical offices in that building, and the people that ran those photos, the people who said, oh my goodness, they're in this gas guzzling SUV, which actually was a hybrid, by the way. It didn't matter. Even if they knew why they were there, it would still be an attack. And if not from the derangers and the haters, even from the people on the in the Royal Rota, the Royal Reporters, the usual suspects, they wouldn't have cared. They don't care if any of them in that family die. They do not care. It does not interest them. The only thing that they think about is how much money can they make? How can they tell the story? And we just lost Sinead O'Connor, who has been bullied and berated by the press for years. She's been a chew toy for the press for years. And after she crosses over, then all of a sudden, everybody is sorry for her. Everybody says she was troubled. Nobody is going to owe up to the fact that she had been bullied, harassed by the very same media who was saying, well, she always did it her way. She always spoke her mind. You're not going to hear any of them apologize. You're not going to hear any of them say, well, maybe we've gone too far. They're not going to say that. They've already gotten their new kitchen. They have purchased a new flat. They have an electric car. So it doesn't matter what's been said in the past. The disposition right now is to mourn. So what they did with Diana, they mourned. They went into mourning for Diana. All these commemorative issues of this paper and that magazine, the same ones that drove her into that tunnel in Paris. The very same magazines mourned her. And then when it was okay, when it was safe, you know, people really like Camilla more than they ever liked Diana. Diana wasn't really that nice of a person. And even in her grave, she's being attacked. They went to war on a child over a name. Went to war with an infant over a name. Not knowing, not caring, didn't consider if anyone would ever try to avenge the queen for that name, taking it out on the child, taking it out on the parents. They were not interested. It did not matter. We're going to go to war with an infant child. That's the tabloid media. And the worst of the worst just happens to be the British tabloid media. And sometimes in first place, the Australian tabloid media. Not all of the media, but then again, those who say nothing give license to the ones that are attacking them because they say nothing about it. They sit still and keep quiet and just say, oh, that's their problem. They have created a fatigue that is inescapable at this point. I'm not tired. You all are not tired. But for the average layperson who don't really have any skin in the game, that's the idea, is to win them over with fatigue, with exhaustion. Why don't they just go away? Now, as I say this, I have to say, I was looking at some comments yesterday, and I would say it was about 50-50. As I always say, Coke and Pepsi. It was about 50-50 with people that were actually asking, why the hate? Why don't you leave them alone? You were not there. How do you know? You only are doing this for clickbait. Now, that was a relief. And rather than just leave it with the hate comments, I had to dig to see if I could find some humanity. And there was plenty of it. Plenty of it. But you had to dig for it. But eventually, I would say it was about 50-50. Shouldn't have to dig for it, though. Shouldn't have to go so far beneath the surface to find humanity. But thanks to the hate campaign, thanks to this industry that seems to be clocking $1 billion a year, you have to dig for it. Over 50 stories in one day for one magazine, and what was it, 44 for another? I still have the screenshots. I kept the screenshots. And then by chance, when I needed it one day, it was there. And I'm like, oh, I have it right here. I had saved it for a reason, because somewhere down the line, if I ever have to explain this to someone who is unaware, I wanted to be able to show evidence that this really happened. S, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. So, let me see. Sugar Plum K says, that's so ridiculous. They lived long lives. Besides, I actually think the Queen understood very well why Harry took his family away and was glad for his happiness. Yeah, the Queen understood. I'm convinced the Queen understood. I don't believe for 1 second that the Queen was trying to make him stay. And you know, you never know what's in a person's heart. Maybe the Queen wants that institution to suffer without her. Maybe she wants that to happen. Maybe that was her plan when she left, is that it would be so identified with her that they couldn't go on without her. Maybe that's what she wanted. Maybe that's why maybe that's why the Queen finally accepted Camilla. Maybe accepting Camilla was accepting the inevitable. You know, at a certain point, you realize that you don't have any power left. And Charles obviously would be the one to make those calls. And just like Princess Anne is duty first, she didn't directly criticize her brother, but she did question the wisdom of a slimmed down monarchy. She did say that. She didn't say that she was going to fight him on it or challenge him. As a matter of fact, she said she was going to rally to support him. And I believe that same sensibility is what the Queen had. So the Queen gave him more power, let him make more decisions, you know, practice his craft, and then she was gone. That's what I believe. Okay, Lola Love says he's winning on Twitter because squatties are coming at him. I'm sorry, you said whining, right? Whining on Twitter because squatties are coming at him, saying it was a joke, putting out disclaimers saying he wasn't promoting stalking. Wouldn't be surprised if law enforcement has contacted him. Well, I'm pretty sure that there are some people that are making complaints. I mean, anybody can make a complaint. I'm sure there have been people that have done that already. Who exactly would have done it? Would it be legal representation for the Sussexes? Would it be someone who may or may not be in the Sussex squad? Who knows? But I'm sure that people have been complaining to YouTube. I'm sure the complaints are out there. You know, people complain about me. Thank you, Lola Love. Sash says that joke, how are we, let me see, is how we experienced January 6th. Life was lost, families adversely affected for life, people injured, people terrorized, police and military, medical resources spent, and property damage. Yeah, that one officer, you know, and what I thought was really cool about that is that that one officer that I think he had a heart attack or did he have a stroke or whatever it was, they did not put up any type of fight about a pre-existing condition. They treated him as though he was a veteran of war, as though he was a casualty of war, should I say. And whatever compensation they gave to the other families, that's the same consideration that they gave him. You know, I mean, if it was a different administration, they may have argued about it, but there was unanimous support for him being counted as one of the ones that lost. I mean, he was pretty much a young man and just died the next day, didn't he? Or did he delete himself? I'm trying to remember. I think maybe he deleted himself. But yeah, which, you know, goes that much further to say that his his injury, maybe it wasn't as visible, but he was hurt and he voted for that monster. That's the sad part is he voted for that monster. He believed in the message, but he was also sworn to defend the United States Capitol. Let's see. Kathy Rose Lou says, "Preach, Baron. This is sermon truth on steroids." Oh, thank you so much for that, and thank you for the super chat. B. Martin says, "Baron, I agree. The Queen knew the outcome this would bring for the monarchy." Oh, she had to know. She had to know. But you know, at a certain point, you just have to leave certain things to chance. You have to leave certain things to chance. Um, that 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 institution is going to limp along for a long time, but until the Cambridge kids bring youth and optimism to the House of Windsor in terms of doing royal duty and stuff like that, it's taking on water. The ship of state is taking on water, taking on a lot of water, and they won't be able to do anything about it for a long time. For at the very least 10 years and possibly 30 years. It could be 30, well, not 30, another 20 years, should I say. It could be possibly another 20 years before there's a royal marriage, a royal wedding. It could be another 20 years before an heir gets married. It could be another 20 years before we find out that maybe the middle child is going to take the throne next. I still think that it's going to skip, but we'll talk about that another time. But thank you so much, B. Martin. But I see a skip in the future. BS says, if those idiots are not going outside the places in UK to do the same, they can shut up being nice on this platform. Tomorrow's trash time will be something. I'll look forward to it. I hope I wake up early enough, but I look forward to it. And you guys be so proud of me. I was up early today. I was up early. Oh, you know what? So much has happened. I almost forgot to mention it. So I didn't see those little thank you slips, or is this it? But thank you so much for the gifts from the wish list. I got a Black & Decker hand vac. My other one I had died. I had that thing for, I don't know how long, and I even did a repair on it. So thank you so much for that. And I got a book about the magical folk and fairy tales from the diaspora. So it's a book about Black culture. Mostly, I think, a picture book. And what else? Some microfibers so I can clean my glasses. And yeah, that was those 4 things. So thank you so much for that. But I don't see anyone. Sometimes they put a thank you slip in there and I don't see one. So I'm thanking you guys right now. Let me see here. Speaking of which, got PayPal. Got a PayPal. SK, thank you so much. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. And 4 bells for the wish list. All right. Thank you. I almost forgot. This is anyway, I'm gonna try to leave this in yesterday tomorrow. I'll try to leave this as a yesterday, but I'm gonna just wait and see what happens. I ain't making no promises. I'm gonna wait and see what happens with this. And that group of people right there, those smug, awful people, and to think that most of them maintain relevancy because of the culture war, the culture warriors, right? And then I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to say at least 6 of them. They make most of their ratings from MEGHAN. They get most of their ratings from MEGHAN. MEGHAN is putting food on their table. MEGHAN is putting mops on their heads. MEGHAN. I don't see that Mrs. Magoo there, but I see one of them actually can thank MEGHAN for that unbelievable hair. Yeah, at least one of them. And then probably a couple of them got some extensions here and there and some other stuff. But when it comes to their earnings, I would be interested in seeing a financial like breakdown of how much money has been earned and for whom by MEGHAN or because of MEGHAN. I'm going to tell you something you do not want to hear. In the States, the conversation is Harry and Meghan needs to apologize and they need to move back to the UK, said LA-based royal expert Kinsey Schofield, who I am convinced is the love child of Tammy Faye Baker. And I still haven't figured out who's the father, but yeah, that's what I think. And Tammy Faye Baker was somewhat eccentric and no stranger to makeup, but I do believe she was a godly woman who just wanted to be famous. And so if she has gone astray or had a evening of indiscretion and years later we are looking at the product of it, I'd still like her. But I think as she gets older, she's going to start wearing that gold eyeshadow and frost and stuff, just like her, mother that orphaned her years ago. But oh man, yeah. After she ages a bit, it will become into sharper focus. Right now, it's kind of hard to tell, but I promise you, just give it a few years. Now, as for Dan Wootton, Wootton allegedly used Martin Branning's pseudonym to meet models. I'm going to say models just to avoid problems. OnlyFans, performers, claims, journalists. Well, anyway, I know most of y'all saw it on Ann earlier, so let me show you. This guy was brave enough to come forward and be identified. Boy, that looks like a rough customer, don't he? But yeah, and then right here, you can see Dan Wootton loses support as solid proof of catfishing has been revealed. So I think one of the big breaches was just getting the Guardian to talk about it. And now that the Guardian has, given it more credibility, and of course they had a few of the television stations talk about it. And much to my surprise, there are some people on some YouTube channels that are not necessarily Sussex friendly, but they are also talking about it. So, as they say, time's up, time's up. Let me see here. Schofield girl needs to have a talk with the police station. You know what? I just had a vision come across my brain, and that is when it's time to remove the makeup, I could just imagine this pile, because she wears the heavy war paints. And you know what? I'm not coming for it because someone told me a long time ago, if somebody is wearing that much makeup, leave them alone because you may not want to see what's on the other side of it. So I have taken that advice and I appreciate the honesty. You know what I'm saying? So with somebody is wearing that much war paint, leave them alone. Don't say a word because you don't want them to show up without it. Cynthia Ashton says, Baron, God's omnipotent. Let me see, is never tired. Neither is death. Also long enough, we all will go to the same fate, which is death. He who threatens death is himself terrified of death. Yeah, and you know what, Cynthia Ashton, that is very true. And that someone actually had to, I guess, say, hey, I'll stand my ground. I'll stand my ground. I'm from Florida. I'll stand my ground. Now, had this not happened, they never would have had to say that. But because it did happen, I think they're just as afraid, if not more afraid. You know, and I would never wish anything like that on anybody's family. And it's not just the parents, it's the children. And he has children. And a few people on Twitter even told him that on his thread, don't you have children? People said to him, don't you have children? And from what I read on his thread today, I still haven't heard him say anything in any kind of way to dispel the idea that this could be a problem for the Sussex kids. He don't want to mention it because to mention it means that he would have to acknowledge it. So that's why he's not saying anything like, oh, this is nothing to do with it. He didn't say anything like that where I've noticed. And he can't, because if he does that, then it is almost an admission of not exactly guilt, but an admission of the possibility of a much deeper, more troubling situation. And he's not going to admit that. He'd rather not. Yep, he'd rather not. So, okay. Let me see here. Someone says, you're really a sad man, full of bile and loathing for others. I feel sorry for you. You morphed into a full-time Twitter troll after you were suspended from the Sun in 2017. Now run along. Oh, let me see. Who is that for? Oh, okay. No, that's... Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that was something else. I thought that was about him. Could have been. But no, that wasn't about him, though. To be fair, that wasn't for him. Okay, so I am going to go on to the next topic. I think. Let me check something here. By the way, let me see. No, maybe I'll talk about that one tomorrow. Today has been like way too heavy. Yeah, I'll save it for tomorrow. So that happened on Meghan's birthday. YouTuber used a live stream on Meghan's birthday to invite fans to join him in a stunt at the expense of Prince Harry and Meghan. So Christopher Bosey actually spoke to Jack Roylston. That's where he made those comments. He spoke to Jack Roylston. Okay. Rent a bus and take himself and viewers to Harry and Meghan's mansion in Montecito and stage a similar protest. Following the backlash, he wrote on Twitter that it was a joke and he did not actually intend to turn up at their house. What if, let me see, what if we got a bus and pulled together a worldwide privacy tour? Yeah, still that's a problem. So they say Newsweek reached out to a YouTuber via email for comment. Yeah, it was quite a pylon, though. It was quite a pylon. All five of them set up there, and it was just one salacious thing after the next. Oh, here it is. Responding to Harry and Meghan's backlash, he wrote, "You all are psychos, as I said in the joke roast that got clipped out of context." So he's saying it was out of context. Do not harass anyone, especially Meghan and Harry. I'm not showing up at their house, you dummies. But anyone actually coming after my family and home better know I live in Florida. I carry and I will stand my ground. That's what he said. I will call the police on anyone who enters my private community, just as Meghan and Harry would and should. No one is actually harassing them. So all this is gaslighting and backpedaling, harassing them in their homes, idiots. Signor told Newsweek as a full stream. As our full stream made it clear, we want no one to stalk or harass. No, but just the blueprint of mentioning the bus. Convenient good, pro Harry. Take photos. Would they be stalking? This is a non-story. So that's him saying this is a non-story. Lies and abuse by your source, Christopher Bosey, as a false story falls right in his playbook. Yeah, so that was his response to the Newsweek. Too little, too late. And this is, let me see, that was Meghan's birthday, so that was Friday, and that was the response today, I believe. So pretty well thought out, I'm sure. Okay. All right, so let's move on then. That guy, we talked about that. Oh, and yeah. Let me see, what else do I have here? Yeah. So, okay. Unfortunately, I am going to have to end it with these last two. Sandra Bullock had a very unfortunate situation. Well, she had a loss. I believe he was her husband, 57 years old. He had Lou Gehrig's disease, I think. He passed away. He died. And you know what? I didn't even know she was married. I had never heard of him before. But, and I don't want to sound petty or anything like that, but damn, it was, that's a good looking guy, I'm just like, the very superficial thing is to say, damn. But yeah, it is really sad. I didn't know that she was married, and that is so young. But yeah, I didn't know she was. I didn't even know she was married. So that is sad, and she's and she's got so much life ahead of her, likely. And I'm assuming that Louis, her son, and this guy may have been close, seeing that they were a family. So very sad. Very sad. He was a partner for a few years, but we're not married. Okay. Yeah. Good looking, though. Good looking. I mean, this guy, he looks like, what did he do for a living? I have no idea. I'm being really superficial, but what did he do for a living? I'll look it up. I will look it up. What? Angela Simmons says we're in a major storm. Oh, by the way, you guys, I'm done for today. We will try to leave this behind us. for tomorrow. I hope it is resolved in a way that's satisfactory. So, Elaine Parker, please get some sleep. We are going to move on. You guys, we have called them out. If you still feel a need to have this discussion, I can understand that. But Harry is on his way to, well, in a couple of days, he'll be on his way to Tokyo and Singapore. And we have to be in our right minds to uplift and celebrate that. Also, we don't want to let slip from the headlines the curious case of Martin Branning and the other alter ego. We definitely do not want to let that go away. So whenever they release something else, I will make another video for it. We won't necessarily have a long discussion about it here, but we will make another video for it. And also, I tell you what, anybody who wants to stick around, let me find my Invictus video. Remember the long one that I made? Oh, you know what? I need to edit that one, I think, because I think I got a copyright on that one. So I will edit that one. But I may just put a link to it in the community tab. And I made a long video. Some of you guys may not have seen it, but I made a longer version of the video from the Invictus Games of last year. And I was thinking about doing a reboot of it just so that we will have something to focus on. It was like Meghan and Harry before the Queen passed away, when they were just like enjoying themselves over there in Dusseldorf. Even though I'm sure at the time Harry probably knew that she was getting close. So let me see, Invictus. Let me see if I have it. Let me see if I have it. No, that's not it. I can tell that's not it right now. That is not it. Yeah, that's the same one from yesterday. But I'll see if I can find it. So let me remove this one. Yeah, I could put it on later tonight. That's true. That is so true. Carlene, I really want to believe that this is just a really bad joke that got out of hand, but still potentially dangerous joke. I really want to believe that. I just want to believe that that person was, just saying too much. But in a world where the Sussexes are constantly being threatened, to say nothing about it is the wrong thing to do, because we don't want it to be okay where those children are concerned. We do not want it to be okay where Lilibet and Archie are concerned. And to say nothing about it, as far as I'm concerned, that's just my opinion. I don't want anyone to agree with me for the sake of it. But in my opinion, if you don't say anything about it, then you're saying that it's okay. And the reason that he's explaining himself is because I believe he knows that it wasn't okay. He knows that he crossed a line. That was crossing the line. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like when anybody messes with somebody's children, anybody's children. Those kids do not deserve to even be threatened with the idea of having people standing outside of their home. Just like when they took that photo of Meghan taking Archie to daycare or nursery school or whatever it was. She's walking down the street and someone's in a SUV or whatever, and they took pictures of her. And then it was printed in page 6. Now, for whatever reason, we haven't seen those pictures again. but we should not have seen them in the first place. That should not have happened, but it did. Now, obviously, that won't happen again because people spoke up and spoke out. There are laws in California that were probably violated. But it wasn't so much just that they took a picture of Archie. It was, as far as I'm concerned, it was a threat to the Sussexes. Just like the New York thing, that was a threat. That was like some kind of horse head in the bed or a fish wrapped up in newspaper or whatever. That was a threat. Plain and simple. And you cannot wish it away. And no matter how bad I feel about it, I'm sure they feel worse. I'm sure they feel worse. It's their kids. Aha! I found it. I found it. So, okay, now I see what the problem was with that one. Now I know what the problem was. I recognize this song. It's called Bonacera. Bonacera, señorita, bonacera. Okay, there we go. I skipped past it.
I love you. I need you. I want you.
Oh yeah, the proposal.
My whole life. Do you want to be my wife?
Yes.
Mikhailovich, Polska!
Kesari, Sussex squad.
Mikhailovich, Polska!
Kesari, Sussex squad.
I wonder who that was.
Alături de tine. Chiar și când ești lângă mine, mi-e dor de tine. In English now. I love you. I need you. I want you. for my whole life. Do you want to be my wife?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh, okay. I think I did that one already. All right. I think that's it. Oh, you love that outfit? All right. Let me see if I have one more. One more. Let me see. That one, that one. Oh, this one. Okay. Okay, I think I got something here. Okay, let's try this one.
First time he saw me was, can I see the princess?
Is that
And
what
I
he
was like,
said?
okay, well, you know, I get that a lot now.
Do you?
And it's like, hi, nice to see you. Where's your wife?
That's exactly what.
Okay, fine.
He's like, hi, can I see the princess?
I'm really sorry, she's not here right now. Can you leave a message?
And then he was like, okay. He just he went out.
You're like,
went to play with his toys.
How does it feel to be
It's
second
always
banana?
a tricky one with kids as
Yeah,
well. You
I
know, the
know.
kids is like, hey, where's your crown and cape? It's like, we don't actually have that, but
Thank you.
Sorry.
Go. There you go. Joelle, thank you, honey. That was great.
You remember what my son said to you?
What?
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Catherine.
All right, Kieran, congratulations
Thanks,
on your
Nicole.
wedding. Sorry, are you going to be best man or not?
Thank you, Ed.
Are you just an usher, not the best man.
The better man.
Awkward. Anyway, congratulations. Sorry he couldn't be there with you, but he's here instead. He was eating herring yesterday or the day before. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk
It was
about
yesterday, yeah.
that. Anyway, congratulations. Hope she's hot.
Not gonna take a long time before I
You're slower than me. I'm doomed.
We're having the same barber, I guess.
Nou, de haarlijnen zijn besproken.
Let me see. Oh, okay. How about this, you guys? Okay, FYI, this is actually the longer one. This is the one that I was actually looking for. So let me see how long this is. I think it's maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I don't recall, but make yourself comfortable. I'm getting goosebumps.
Sussex
Meghan, you're beautiful!
Turn ahead, please. To your right, please. Sir.
this was one big
I love the shirt. Where did you get this shirt from? Do you want to swap?
Yes.
Next time. Next year.
Yes, okay.
Promise me.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. It's beautiful here. It's a beautiful city. Is it always this warm?
No, but it's a nice city. Yes.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Ich finde sie super, ich finde sie sehr viel authentischer als Kate und William. Also ich bin mehr Harry und Meghan Seite. Ich finde es super, dass sie ihr Ding machen, dass sie das Richtige für ihre Familie tun und kann sie da nur unterstützen.
Yes.
Harry with the baby!
Picture with the new
Harry! Harry! The baby! Harry! Yeah, the baby! The baby! Can I take a picture with the baby? Picture with the baby.
Oh, Daniela.
We love your book. Yes. My daughter loves it. Yes, that's so sweet. So thanks for sharing a poem.
Guys, watch the pushing, please, okay?
Sorry, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Very, very hot.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You look like you've been here for a while.
Oh, you're waiting for 3 hours.
Are you drinking water?
This is Maureen and her husband. This is for you. Thank you.
Hi, Megan. Nice to meet you. So good. Yeah. That's my wife. Hello.
You live 50 years here.
Oh my goodness.
Are you English and German as well?
I am German.
German, so you moved here for him?
That's a beautiful love story.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank
All right,
you so
good to
much.
see you.
You are wonderful, Meg. I love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. It's lovely
Very, very
to be
nice to
here.
meet you.
Hi. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
That's my wife, yeah.
Hi, nice to see you guys. Hi.
God bless you.
Nice to meet you.
Covers my
Very nice.
stands
Thank you
since
for
4
staying
o'clock
here.
in the morning to meet you.
Oh my goodness, that's so kind. Thank you so much. That's
And
really
yes, your letter.
Yes, we
She
will.
is for victim
we heard you were
people,
here,
and
and we knew
she's
you
for
wanted it, so we
all
brought
the
it.
people there, and she did a great job.
Oh my goodness.
Harry! Megan!
Whoa, I got goosebumps. I haven't watched it in so long. I'm sitting here with goosebumps. I mean, it's been ages since I watched that. So I kind of forgot it. Let me see here. All right. Yeah, so maybe I'll do a reboot or something like that and put it up before the Invictus Games. We'll see. But thank you guys that stayed and watched. I enjoy when we have our little movie night like this. I like our little movie nights, our little reboot nights. But yeah, thank you much. Thank you for all of your contributions. Thank you, everyone who stayed up so late or woke up too early. And love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. And I think I have gotten it out of my system. I hope everyone else has, but if not, it's okay. In due time. But yeah, I think I've gotten it out of my system. I was actually sitting here getting emotional, watching people showing them so much love and affection and respect and consideration, and them doing the same, of course. So win-win. All right, so see you guys tomorrow. And our last word of the day is everyone, please stay safe. Pray and don't peg and hydrate. Oh, man. Oh, Lambert Childs, thank you so much for staying. Let me see. Oh, Celia, thank you so much, Celia Nelson. I appreciate that. But no, I can think of a few people that I think are amazing, but I appreciate that. Good night, Susie Q. All right, love you guys, and see you tomorrow. God, I remember when I made that video. You know what I do? I'll tell you my little secret is that I scour the social media and I find everything I think I can share without getting in trouble. So that's my little secret. It's like days and days of scouring the internet, but I love to do that and I love sharing it. So thank you so much, everyone. Okay, and cue the Ginger Avenger. And happy birthday again, VS. Happy birthday. Many happy returns of the day. I want to hear her say, Megan, you're beautiful. I love that. I love that. Meghan, you're beautiful. And she is beautiful. And you all are beautiful too. Good night.